I was on TikTok. A random poker video came up. Or was it on YouTube? I don't remember. But I randomly came across a video about cheating in poker. And they're like, these guys got permanently banned for collusion and cheating. And then I was like, is that SoFlo Antonio? SoFlo Antonio was caught cheating at a fucking poker table.
That's fucking awesome.
Can you believe that?
Yes.
Less than 24 hours after appearing on Hustler Casino Live. So apparently this guy Julio was his friend.
Mm-hmm.
And they were colluding together. This comes after allegations that he was looking over and seeing his opponent's card, making unusual plays afterwards. Well, okay, if you're... Obviously, it's pretty corny to look over at your partner's card, but you should be protecting that shit.
Opponent's card.
Yeah.
Yeah. That. I mean, if you're flashing your cards.
That's the dumbest way to cheat. Nobody's going to notice this.
They're so obvious. It's insane.
Like, I'm cheating.
Throughout the whole match, or I don't know what you call it, the whole game, they keep looking over.
Well, a lot of people have said a lot about SoFlo Antonio, and one of those things that has not been said about him is that he's smart. Everything else has been said about him. And yes, Dreams Music got
Look at how Cedillo shows his hand here. By his body language and the way he tabled his cards is like someone who has quads and was 100% confident that he had the best hand. This was the second red flag. The next hand, he does the exact same thing, trying to peek at his whole cards, and this time, he does not bluff the river, knowing Barry paired his queen.
Honestly, kind of surprised that Skills didn't try and bluff that.
The next hand was the most controversial one, which made even the commentators question what was going on.
I was like, holy fuck, that's SoFlo Antonio. He's sitting there playing poker with like money he scams from Facebook SARS masks. And he's cheating at that.
Seated to Cedillo's right was SoFlo Antonio, a former YouTube prankster who is apparently Cedillo's friend. The hand began with Antonio raising to 1200 with ace-4 offsuit on the button. Skills rocks, holding 9-7 suited, called from the small blind, and then Barry made the call from the big blind with 10-8 offsuit. Flop comes out ace-7-9, which is an action flop. The blinds check to Antonio, who bets out 1000, and both players called. The turn comes a 6 of spades, making Barry a straight. Again, the action checks to Antonio, and here's where it gets weird. Cedillo apparently kicks Antonio under the table to...
Slick operators, huh? Yeah, so obviously colluding is when two players work together, pass information to each other, which is cheating, form of cheating.
Warn him not
and these are the dumbest people on earth. This man is straight up peeking at cards like this and then kicking homie. And they're so dumb. He goes, are you kicking me right now? Okay, message received, buddy.
Got it.
Small blind, and then Barry made the call from the big blind with 10-8 offsuit. Flop comes out ace-7-9,
I went back
which is
a
an
little
action
bit so we
flop.
can see that again.
The blinds check to Antonio, who bets out 1000, and both...
Everybody's played checkers, but SoFlo's cheating at poker.
First called. The turn comes a 6 of spades, making Barry a straight. Again, the action checks to Antonio, and here's where it gets weird. Cedillo apparently kicks Antonio under the table to warn him not to bet. Antonio doesn't get the hint and appears confused.
And then he's too dumb to get the hint.
Antonio bets. Cedillo here has 2 pair. He gives it some Hollywood and then folds. That's an unusual play in this spot for a loose player. Unless
Yeah, it makes no sense. He has a 2 pair. There's literally no way.
Unless, of course, you happen to know the player to act behind you has the absolute nuts.
He said you kicking him and then you're going to fold.
Bro, if he folds.
He's not folding. This is an angle.
Oh, really?
100.
Everyone's like, there's...
Oh, he is folding.
Wow. Legitimately blown away by that.
It's unclear whether Cedillo was trying to get the other player, Antonio, to fold. Or possibly, Cedillo was trying to get Antonio to check the turn so he, who had flopped 2 pair, could see a free river and try to fill up and stack Barry, who had the straight. Barry eventually wins a $19,500 pot from Antonio, but he noticed something was fishy between Cedillo and Antonio and gets up from the table to take a breather.
Y'all be talking about, hey,
That's so
whatever you did saying whatever y'all said.
I turned it into a bluff and I had an ace. I turned it into a bluff because I thought he had another
Give me
ace.
the money. I don't care about that weird shit.
Yeah, so everyone's like, it's funny. I don't know. What are you doing? SoFlo.
That's
the biggest scumbag in YouTube history. And it's shit just randomly out there.
It's wild how I feel like every year or two he pops up again like that. And it's always with like some new fucking scheme that
He's like Kaiser Sose, but like totally incompetent. He's like the worst Kaiser Sose. He's Kaiser So-So.
Kaiser SoFlo.
Go ahead, Zach.
Kaiser SoFlo.
No, not that one.
The roaring.
There
it is.
Thank you. That was a good Kaiser.
There it is.
Wow. They love me. All right.